What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another episode of the Bourbon Pour. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Brian.
Today, I'm pretty excited about this episode, Brian, because really, to be honest with you, these are probably my favorite whiskeys. Just overall, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll hear a lot of people say that Old Overholt's their favorite, but it is mine. And I got, over the weekend, good friend Tom Blandford. No, he did not loan us this bottle. You're used to saying that. He picked this up and allowed me to buy it from him for what he paid for it. Really appreciate that. And then I've got, for comparison's sake, this was last year's release, the 10-year, which we didn't taste until this year.
Right. You got this earlier in the year, and then we've shared this. We've done a review on it, but it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's in our running for Whiskey of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, not one you hear a lot of, but
right.
when I tasted it, automatically I knew, oh, that's in my top 3 now.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's where it's going to be when it's all said and done.
Sure.
But this one is phenomenal. This one's a year older.
Mm-hmm.
So I look forward to that. And I actually was going to the distillery. This came out and the old granddad came out the same weekend.
Okay.
And I was going to go down there, and then the hurricane that was in Florida moved up here, and we had a monsoon. Yeah. And I didn't go. Right. And then I decided not to go, and then I kind of was kicking myself, and I had a lot of things going on. I couldn't get down there, and then Tom sends a message, and then you chimed in first and got it, so that was good. So.
You knew I'd swoon in there whenever I heard Ryan Old Overholt. So, and maybe, let's see, does this 10-year have competition? So there is a little bit of a difference between the two. So obviously this is a year older, being 11-year, 107.4 proof. I think that one's 121. So it's real small
121 proof. Yeah, so that's a big difference.
Yeah. So from what I understand is that this came from Jim Beam's. This is a Beam product. Came from an elevator warehouse. I don't know anything about that. That's a thing apparently. Okay. And this one some of it came from that warehouse and some from other warehouses. So one cool note about this is not the only reason that this is one of my favorite whiskeys. Both of these were barreled in the autumn of 2012, which is when Eric and I got married. So I think that's pretty cool.
That's cool. I remember you saying about the other one.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think that's pretty awesome. So, all right. This is going to start with the 11 just because it's the new release and it's lower proof. So, lots of good stuff there.
Yeah, I'm getting a
little tea leaf note.
Yeah, definitely tea. That's I was trying to get something different that I don't normally get.
Which I tasted this last night to do research for the channel, and I didn't get tea leaf, but I get it now. There's a little bit of a toasted marshmallow.
Definitely. I mean, I could definitely tell I would think that's a rye, just obviously off of the nose. It's
not overly.
It's not over the top, but I could tell it's in that family. I get a little bit of that spearmint.
Yeah. And there's not as much oak as what I would expect from it being an 11-year and a rye, but it's there and it's a sweeter oak.
Yeah, you get a little earthy undertones. But it's in a pleasant way, and it's a
kind of in the same way. What I said about this bottle too is that in the same way that Knob Creek is kind of earthy, mossy. I wouldn't be surprised if these were in the same rick house, just because it's got those kind of
definitely not nutty at all.
You're right. No, not nutty, but like Knob Creek to me sometimes is a little mossy. There's a little touch of that.
Oh man, yeah, I just got a really good. Just like I was running in the woods and fell by a tree and I hit
a little tree bark
in a nice way.
Very good way.
I fell in a fluffy type way. And didn't get hurt.
Yeah. After drinking too much Overholt.
It just rained and it's nice.
Right. It does border on a little bit of maple. There's some sweetness there. You just gotta look for it. Once again, though, I did taste it 24 hours ago. So
I'm looking forward to tasting it now. So
let's go in for a sip.
So that's velvety. Then it does kind of spice up. That kind of takes over the taste at first, but then it kind of coats on the way back.
There's a lighter licorice note. That's really good. There's a little bit of mintiness.
That's kind of that spearmint type.
Yeah, sweeter.
I didn't think it was as distinguished as licorice, because sometimes that turns people off.
Sure.
And I didn't want to throw that out there, but I am getting it. Yeah. But it's not like a dark.
This one is more licorice.
Yeah.
The 10-year seems more licorice to me.
And I love that spice. it acts like it's going to burn you alive, and then it lightens up, and it's just. But for me, it's the predominant taste.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting that, and I'm forgetting to try to pull other elements out.
Yeah, right.
Because it's refreshing.
Yeah.
And it's
there's a sweet caramel note that isn't always present in ryes that I really like. I think bourbon drinkers would like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's a little bit of like a candied pecan, like a praline pecan note on the palate. I really like. Towards the back, kind of, it's a thinker. You got to think sweet. You get a little overwhelmed with the rye spice, but there's a little bit of that praline kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Not overly nutty.
Mm-hmm.
They are rich.
No, I'm not getting hardly any.
Yeah.
Nut. Yeah, no, that's smooth. That's really good. Just my initial thought on it, I don't remember. I remember falling in love with this on first sip. This is good,
right? But
I don't feel like it's in the same category as this one yet.
Okay. Putting them side by side,
we'll find. It's kind of a similar nose, honestly.
Yeah, which is
earthy, kind of mossy.
Yeah.
A little more oak. I don't know.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
It seems like the oak is more in the forefront.
Yeah.
Whereas this was oak was complementary, I think, on this. Whereas this was more oak forward. How does that make sense?
Not getting any spearmint or
no
licorice on the nose.
And if I remember right, this didn't have any mint to it at all.
I don't think so. I get a little butterscotch.
Yeah. There's definitely some sweetness there. All right, let's go for a sip here. That's got way more burn to it.
A lot more burn.
That proof jumps up, obviously, being 121. But
it brings out a vanilla and a caramel. Little burn that turns into at the end a little along the lines of kind of it's still mossiness, but it's a fresh.
I kind of know where you're going.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say there. But
yeah, it's mossy, but it's I don't know, like
it's not off-putting.
I feel like when we say mossy, that means that, oh God, who wants to eat moss? Right. Who wants to taste moss?
Earth tones, and
but
sometimes earth tones don't sound like they'd be good.
Yeah, but when that pushes along with the spice and the sweetness that goes in it, it doesn't sound as crazy as we think. We promise. And then now more licorice appears on the nose for me after taking a sip of the 10.
This one goes chalky. I do remember that. I mean, it's a little chalky in the mouth after the second sip.
Yeah, for sure. Not drying, but
not overly drying, but a little chalky.
Yeah.
There's more. I feel like there's more going on with this one.
Okay.
But I'd say it's probably proof has more to do with it. But it honestly, this one drinks hot coming out of the gate in a nice way.
Yeah.
In a soothing way. You think it's going to be hotter than what it actually is.
Yeah.
This one's hot.
Yeah.
And it stays that way. But then other elements come out. So where this is not hot at the start, it takes over the pour. Where this one's hot from the get-go, but the pour opens up.
It kind of lends to the flavors.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be my take on the two.
I think I definitely, for certain, like the nose better on the 11. For me. It's a little bit sweeter. I don't know if you get a toasted marshmallow kind of.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
So good. Yeah. The nose has a lot going on. There were some notes that I came up with last night that, frankly, I can't really remember that I don't think I'm getting tonight. But the nose on this is phenomenal. I feel like the one on the 10 is a little more, oddly enough, oaky and a tannic-ish kind of way.
I get a lot more oak on the 10 year than I do the 11 year. So
Go figure. Not that the nose is bad.
I would tend to agree that I think the nose is better on the 24.
Yeah.
But I think the overall experience is better on the 23. So that would still be my pick of the two. But would I be upset with either one of them? No, by no means. I think they're both phenomenal.
For me, I thought I liked the 10-year better.
But now tonight.
Oh, jeez. If I could
We can.
I don't know what the heck. I don't know. Yeah, we could do that. They were talking about that at Vic's tonight.
Combine it.
Yeah, people were like, "Hey, we saw you combine those," and Tom goes, "I'm going to do that when I get home." I wish I could combine the nose that I get from here and the palate with the 10.
Mm-hmm.
So if I like the nose on this one better, and I do love the palate,
Mm-hmm.
and I do love the nose on this one, but I really love the palate. Both of these though are I'm just gonna say are treasures in mine because I really do.
Yeah, I like how this one, like I said, it punches and then opens up. This one kind of opens up and then punches. They're completely backwards.
Yeah.
But both in good. They're both good.
Yeah.
And both like I would be tickled to death to get one of these.
Yeah.
And still, if I see this out, I probably will buy one.
Yeah.
Because I did not get the 23.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Luckily, I do have a backup of the 23, which I would either gift you or let you buy, but it was a gift to me from Erica's cousin, Kevin. Yeah. Appreciate you, Kevin. Yeah, so I can't get rid of that.
I think I am.
Go ahead and blend them. Let's go ahead and blend them. Why not? I've got more.
They were starting something.
Yeah.
New bourbon trends.
I've got more of the 10-year in this glass than I do the 11. So let's go in for nose here.
I'm probably the same way. I think I have a little bit more of the 10-year.
That tea leaf note really comes up, and then there's a rye bread and licorice, and
they actually blended well, pretty good
well.
together. Yeah,
I think I still like the nose on just the standard 11.
Yeah, it's hot. I just burned my nose on that one.
A little bit
I didn't do that on either one of them.
Yeah. That is pretty good. Oh man, I think I still like the palate alone on the 10 better, but that is pretty darn good.
Yeah, it burnt to start and then it kind of faded out, but it stayed hotter than this one by itself.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Obviously you're not going to buy $200 or $100 bottles and blend them together. I would probably still keep them separated.
An Old Overholt 10.5 here.
But that's not bad. But I would probably keep them separated because they're different monsters.
Yeah.
And I think they give you different elements that you're going to enjoy. And maybe from one night to the next, you might be into this. And the next night, you might want to dive into that.
Last night, I was certain that, when I first tasted this, I thought, I like the 10 better. Last night, I poured myself out that and explored it, and then I poured it side by side, and I like this one. Mm-hmm. Tonight, I like this one, but that's just how it goes with whiskey. Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid to admit that I probably don't know what I'm talking about. So, but one thing's for certain, I'm excited to have both of these.
Yeah, these are buys. Yeah, from here on out, I think these are ones we're going to try to get for the channel.
Yeah, I hope Beam really keeps hammering in on Old Overholt, and I hope they do a 12 and a 13, or even younger. As long as they do, higher aged Overholt stuff, I think I'm a buyer. I'm going to constantly look for those each year, and if I can't find them in stores, I'm going to the distillery and going to get one. So this at the distillery is $110. Mm-hmm. So this, I don't know if we mentioned that earlier. So all right, well, that's all we have for you. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed sampling these whiskeys, because they are my favorite. So we're going to end this episode the same way that we always do, and that is when you're with your family and your friends, always share your whiskey.